Every year, thousands of citizens choose to disappear from North Korea. They abandon their homes, names, and entire families to vanish into the night. Those who run must navigate 5 countries and thousands of miles of mountains and jungles. They dodge military checkpoints and human traffickers just to reach a world they were taught could never exist. This is arguably the most dangerous escape route on Earth, attempted only because the reality of staying has become unbearable. Look at North Korea from space at night. While South Korea is a sea of light, the North sits in near total blackness. 26 million people live there, yet the entire country generates less electricity per night than a single mid-sized American city. The regime maintains this darkness as an intentional tool of absolute state control. This physical void on the map serves as a portrait of a system designed to keep an entire nation sealed off from the rest of the world. The Kim family has held absolute power since 1948. Through 3 generations, they have maintained total authority over every aspect of life. Control is enforced through songbun, an inherited caste system. Your rank is determined by your family's perceived loyalty to the state decades ago, and it dictates where you live, what you eat, and if your children can attend university. Defiance triggers the 3 generations of punishment. If someone is sent to a labor camp, their children and grandchildren go with them to serve the sentence. In this system, the state claims ownership over a person's current survival and the future of their entire bloodline. The regime denies the existence of the Kwanlisa labor camps, even as satellite imagery reveals massive complexes carved into remote mountain valleys. Inside, prisoners face starvation-level rations and forced labor from dawn until midnight. Public executions serve as a constant reminder of the cost of breaking the state's rules. Defector Shin Dong-hyuk was born inside Camp 14. He grew up knowing nothing of cities or freedom until his escape in 2005. These camps represent the total erasure of humanity, acting as the ultimate deterrent against any form of dissent. For many, the breaking point came during the arduous March famine of the 1990s. Hundreds of thousands starved while the military and leadership remained fed. As the state's food distribution system collapsed, the first wave of defectors crossed into China to stay alive. Modern defectors are often driven by smuggled information. USB drives containing foreign films are traded in secret black markets, bypassing the state's media blackout. On these small, muted screens, they see South Korea, a thriving world that their government told them didn't exist. Seeing that reality shatters the regime's lifelong lies. Once a citizen knows the truth, they can no longer mentally survive staying in the dark. Escaping south through the DMZ is nearly impossible due to landmines and electric fences. To leave, a defector must go north toward China. In winter, they sprint across the frozen Tumen or Yalu River. It is a 5-minute dash across the ice, under the constant threat of shoot-on-sight orders from border guards. Reaching China brings no safety. The Chinese government classifies defectors as illegal economic migrants, deporting them back to North Korean interrogation rooms and labor camps. For the women who make up the majority of defectors, the danger is immediate. Many are sold into forced marriages or trafficking networks by the very brokers they paid to help them. The river crossing is merely the entry point into a life of permanent, stateless terror. To reach a country that won't deport them, defectors must travel thousands of miles south through China toward the borders of Southeast Asia. They move through an underground railroad of safe houses and covert networks. Activist missionaries and paid smugglers risk arrest to guide them through the dense jungles of Vietnam, Laos, and Myanmar. Reaching the final destination requires years of hiding and a 6,000-mile journey across 5 countries, all to reach a reality that was once just a blurry image on a smuggled screen. They have made it through China. Thousands of miles of hiding in truck beds and cramped safe houses. But now they stand at the edge of Southeast Asia. The route ahead is a gauntlet of dense, unlit jungle where paths and guides simply do not exist. Entering Vietnam, Laos, or Myanmar on foot, defectors carry only the clothes they are wearing. The terrain is physically punishing, defined by steep mountain slopes, rivers that swell without warning, and a total reliance on a general direction and a prayer. Beyond the landscape is the political threat. Both Vietnam and Laos maintain active agreements with North Korea to interrogate and deport anyone caught crossing illegally. The documentary Beyond Utopia captures this reality in raw detail. Filmed almost entirely on smartphones in near total darkness, it follows a family of 5, 2 parents, 2 daughters, and a grandmother, as they move through the Vietnamese back roads and Laotian jungle. The footage shows the family stumbling through the darkness. The children struggle to stay quiet, and the grandmother, though barely able to walk, refuses to stop moving. These images translate the abstract statistics into a human reality. Terrified individuals running toward a world they cannot yet imagine. In this region, every defector is moving toward a single destination: Thailand, specifically the Mekong River border with Laos. Thailand follows a unique policy under international pressure. While they detain undocumented arrivals, they do not deport North Koreans back to Pyongyang. To reach safety, they must wade into the Mekong. The dark water and powerful currents can pull a person under in seconds. One defector recalled the moment she entered the water, thinking that if she drowned there, at least she would drown free. Reaching the Thai bank is the emotional heart of the journey. It is the exact moment they are finally no longer running. Thailand detains all undocumented arrivals in immigration facilities. Defectors are held here for weeks or months in stark, uncomfortable conditions. Despite the lack of comfort, the psychological relief is immense. There are no interrogation rooms here, and no flights scheduled for Pyongyang. During this phase, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees handles the formal processing, verifying identities and documenting each person's story. Once cleared, they are flown directly to South Korea, the nation their government described as the enemy for their entire lives, and the place they will now call home. New arrivals are taken to Hanawon, or the House of Unity. This government facility serves as a mandatory 3-month resettlement center to bridge the gap between 2 very different worlds. They are taught basic modern skills: how to open a bank account, how to use a smartphone, and how to navigate a society where you don't need a ration card to eat. One defector describes standing in a South Korean supermarket for the first time and weeping at the sight of the shelves. That reaction comes from the overwhelming reality of abundance, a world where choice is unrestricted and food simply exists for anyone who walks through the door. The documentary School for Defectors follows young North Koreans as they pivot from the immediate demands of survival to the complex struggle for belonging. While they share a language and history with the South, the cultural divide is massive. The slang, the technology, and the social norms make many feel like aliens in their own homeland. Former top students from the North often struggle with South Korean university exams. They were trained in propaganda memorization, not the creative thinking required to pass. There is also the weight of survivor's guilt, the knowledge that parents or children were left behind to face the regime's punishment. The psychological trauma of the journey often only surfaces when they are finally safe enough to feel it. This chart shows the scale of the challenge. Since the 1990s, 34,000 North Koreans have reached the South. That is just 0.13% of the North's population. Today, the route is more dangerous than ever. Kim Jong-un used the pandemic to seal the borders, implementing shoot-to-kill orders and building massive new barriers. The numbers show the impact of this crackdown. In 2021, only 63 people successfully reached South Korea. Despite these odds, the underground networks and brokers continue to operate, and smuggled information continues to leak into the North through USB drives and radio signals. Somewhere tonight, on the frozen bank of the Tumen River, someone is standing at the edge of the ice. They are calculating the distance, measuring the risk, and deciding whether to run. 34,000 people have already made that choice. They walked 6,000 miles to prove what a human being will endure for the simple right to live free.